Hello everyone. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Carrow Road on a freezing evening and welcome to the PinkUn Show. We are back, we are live, we are at the home of Norwich City Football Club for our latest dedicated Norwich City shenanigans and barely an hour ahead of the 2017 annual general meeting. That's right, the one where previous hits have included discussions over tenures of previous England managers, Jez Moxey doing a Tony Blair impression, and of course, just what the future holds for the Canaries sausage rolls. I'm Michael Bailey. Over the next half an hour or so, we'll bring you all the latest Norwich City talking points, reflect on Saturday's draw with Preston, and ahead to both tonight's AGM and the trip on Friday night to Cardiff. We'll hopefully hear from a few City fans setting up for tonight's AGM. I mean, we're not expecting too many, but you never know who'll turn up, given it's a big night for the club, of course. And we've also got this week's guests, who are former City winger Cedric Anselin and co-founder of fansite Along Come Norwich, Andy Lawn. Gentlemen, how are you both? You well?
Warm, very warm.
You're warm?
Yeah, fantastic.
It's a lovely hat.
Wrapped up, thank you.
Beautiful hat. Cedric, how are you? You've just come back from London.
Yes, very cold actually. I've been on my feet all day and I can't feel my toes, but I'm all right.
And your knees okay? There's no brace?
No, I took the brace off for the day. Okay. Just trying to feel normal a bit.
Okay, I'm sure this will do your knee the world of good. If we need a chair, someone get Cedric a chair. Anyway, we are live on pinkun.com and on the PinkUn Facebook page, which is fb.me/thepinkun. We've got loads for you over the next half an hour or so, and we want to hear from you too, be it on Saturday's draw and Alec Neil's return, of course, tonight's AGM, or what's coming up at the weekend in Wales. Get your questions, comments and banter through to us. Here, it will help us keep warm, I promise you. All you need to do is post your comment or question on the Facebook page under the video feed, and your words will ping right through to my iPad once I've managed to work that and do everything else at the same time. Now, someone who doesn't need a coat is Wesley Moulahan, or you could say she comes with a coat, I suppose. Fresh from her sort of selfie with Mick Dennis and Greg Downs last week, here she is on top form to help with this week's headlines via you, Cedric. Give the bell a ring. Okay, that'll do. Alec likes it. Neil, a happy bunny on City return, even if Preston could only leave with a draw. Another one, Cedric, go. Spud smashes it. City superfan and friend of the PinkUn Show becomes national sensation by stepping in for crocked lino. Go, Cedric, you're on again. Better, he's getting there. Life's a pritch. Wee Alex makes crazy first team return and offers the best bit of news City fans have had all month. And again, Cedric. Another gloomy meeting. Let's see what I've done there. City's AGM takes place tonight. The board are on standby. Will it be toilets, pies or football that gets the most airtime? Oh, who knows? And finally, Cedric. Happy birthday, Neil. Warnock marks 69 years on planet Earth, plus a few elsewhere. He's ordered the Canaries for his birthday entertainment, but what will he get for his present? The mind boggles. There we go. Top work, Cedric. Do you enjoy that?
I love it. Just keep my man warm.
There we go. Right, it feels like it's been a relatively quiet week, gentlemen, but I guess that could possibly change tonight. Andy?
Yeah, I guess maybe people have been saving stuff up for tonight. I think it has been a quiet week, but then I think the performance on Saturday was one of those that was neither here nor there, and it hasn't really sparked any great optimism, and it hasn't really sparked any great negativity. Yeah,
we've had that issue in a couple of recent home games, haven't we, as well? And Barnsley, the two home performances were fairly similar, weren't they, Cedric?
Well, I would say that the first half of Saturday against Preston was a lot better than obviously the previous game at home against Barnsley. It was more tempo, more energy. You could see the players wanted a lot more, but obviously second half it was a bit a strange second half. Obviously, it was a lot of different situation happened during the game, but we can't be too disappointing. I think Preston come back in second half a lot better, organised. I think they stopped Maddison to be on the ball, West to be on the ball, Oliveira going forward, and obviously if them three players are not on the ball, it's quite hard for Norwich trying to create something going forward.
Yeah. Do these results play into an air of negativity going into the AGM? Do they affect it? I can't imagine. I imagine the board would quite like a win before the AGM.
Yeah, I think they probably would, and I think there is an air of negativity. I don't think that negativity is particularly fair at the moment. I think given the wholesale changes that happened over the summer, the renewed calls from patience from both the board and the fans, I think this is the time you have to be patient. It was never going to be quick. It was never going to be a linear improvement when we got better every week. And I think where we are at the moment is about right for where maybe we expected to be at this stage of the season.
Alec Neil's return on Saturday, I mean, I quite like that fact. It was nice to see him again, but it did seem to completely pass Carrow Road by.
Yeah, for me, I wasn't really interested in Alec Neil return. I'm sorry. I know you loved him, but
Well, it's not love. Let's not get carried away. But it's nice to see him back.
well, yeah, and I think he got an okay reception. But as I say, I think everyone sort of moved on because there was such a long period with Alan Irvine in charge. I think everyone has kind of, forgotten him basically.
Bless him. We'll remember Wembley at some point, I'm sure. Saturday's game, Cedric, had one crazy ending to it, didn't it? It was absolutely bizarre, all the things that were going on.
Yeah, obviously the linesman just getting injured. I don't know if he pulled his hamstring or groin injury, and you could see he couldn't carry on. And so the referee just stopped the game completely, and you could see the linesman just trying to cross the pitch to go on the other side, and he was actually struggling, bless him, and you almost felt sorry for him because you just wanted to go and help him, and Pinto actually was the first one to come near him, and even me, I watched the game, I thought Pinto is going to help him. He was just walking alongside him.
That's it, even he didn't put an arm out.
He was just walking alongside him, and you could see, bless him, he was absolutely in agony, and obviously a special man from the stand just saved the game, basically.
A special man from the stands. Well, before we get into that, let's hear from City head coach Daniel Farke, his permanent predecessor, who Andy's not so fussed about, Alec Neil, and the returning Alex Pritchard.
Yeah, when I watch on my starting lineup today, we had a lot of young lads on the pitch, a lot of technical players and who are good in passing and full of potential, but yeah, on some positions not so grown up, and I knew we had to determine this game today with our offense, with scoring goals, and there would be perhaps some problems in defending and especially in defending set pieces, and because let's say with Tim Klose and Alex Tete and Tom Trewell, we are there with a different physical presence, but today we had a lot of young technical players on the pitch, and then you have to sometimes to accept that the opponent is better in this area, and they were able to use a set piece, and for that we have to accept the draw today. It's not my dream result, but it is like it is.
Obviously biting at the bit to get back on there, but early Christmas present for me.
Yeah. I was going to say, I mean, how much have you been pushing for this to get back in? Because you've only had 45 minutes of the under-23s.
Yeah, like being at the 45 minutes of the 23s, like, come on, let me play more, I feel good, but you can't risk it, but today is what it is, and come on for 15 minutes, I just got to go from there.
How frustrating has it been? I mean, what's it been like over this time? New manager coming in, whole new setup, all those changes, and then in pre-season the injury comes along.
Yes, it's hard to take, but at the end of the day, like I said last time, it's just football. Stuff like this happens to everyone in football, so you've just got to pick yourself up and go again. After a while, you're watching too much football and you're really, really getting fed up. But yeah, just trying to get back out on that pitch as quick as possible, that's what drives you.
And what have you made of watching the team over that time? Because you've seen it all, really, haven't you? There's the struggles early on, brilliant run in September, and this sort of middle period that we're in now.
Yeah, I think that comes with any team in the world. You get runs like that and ups and downs, and you just got to get out of them and get back to where we was.
I think it's always strange, and it's the first time I've ever had to go back somewhere that I've left, maybe not in the best of circumstances, obviously. But yeah, listen, I think everybody understands it for what it is. The bottom line is, as a manager, if you don't win as many games as the club expects you to win, then your position comes under threat. And I never had anything negative to say about that. It just is what it is.
And James Maddison's obviously a player that you brought to the club. You knew how good he was. So were you surprised to see him stick that one in the top?
Not really. And I think a lot of people give me a lot of stick about not playing James, but James wasn't ready at that stage. He went out to Aberdeen to get games. Did the same with Jacob Murphy. He was at Coventry to get games, and then we brought him back when he was ready, having sort of done his apprenticeship, if you like. And then obviously Norwich are reaping the rewards of that, and that's why we signed him, because he's a fantastic player.
Just finally, had you ever met Spud before? Spud, as he's known, the fourth official, David Thornhill. He's a bit of a die-hard Norwich fan. Have you ever met him?
I do know him because I know his brother Martin, who looks after us when we travel away to sort of away games when I was at Norwich. So it was nice to see him.
Well, we are back, and we are joined by the one and only David Spud Thornhill. A round of applause, you two. Give it's literally only the four of us, and the camera guys have got cameras in their hand. How you doing, Spud?
Very well on this cold night. So, but I'm wrapped up like Andy is.
Yeah, you look very snug. I'm the one who's struggling here, and it started raining, so this could be amusing next 20-15 minutes or so. Thanks so much for joining us. What a few days it's been. Have the national press stopped bugging you now?
God, blimey, it's surreal. I think it's gone as far as field as Brazil. Can you believe that?
Well, yes, I can. I mean, Cedric was telling us earlier his French friends or you are world famous.
Well, yeah, I didn't expect the news to get into Brazil, Chile, Canada. So, and even today, someone from Big Brother contacted me.
Big Brother?
Exactly.
Are you going to end up in the Big Brother house?
I'm very cynical about the show, so I'll be a bit of a hypocrite if I do go in that one.
I don't know. You sound slightly tempted, to be honest.
Absolutely.
If I'm talking about it. Now, Andy would watch it, which would be great to see. So take us through. I know you've told the story, but just briefly, what happened?
It's not really much to say, really. All it was is that I was just sitting there. I saw the referee, the linesman, get injured. I didn't say anything at this point, and there's a bloke who I know through local football. He shouted, "Come on, Spud, away you go." And Alex Neil heard him, and I've got to know Alex Neil through his time at Norwich City because my brother's had dealings with him, and he knew me and he knew that I was a referee. And referee, and he pointed me out, and Stuart come and say, "Yeah, you've done it before." So and I just went on, and it did say in the Sun that I took my Norwich City shirt off. I didn't have I didn't have a Norwich City shirt on.
But I did want to ask this though, because there was a point when you were putting on the coat and you had no clothing on. So why did you have no clothing on your top?
I did take my top off, clothes off, because I thought I'd be wearing my kit. And then they said, "No, we need you straight on." So I just put a jacket on. So.
I love that you went thinking you were going to get a full kit. I love that. Did you get to keep the coat?
No. But all the other times I've done, I've always changed into the kit. So I just thought, just quickly do it. So
fair enough. How hard was it to work the board?
I've done it before.
Yeah. Is it really straightforward? Is it like a remote control?
It's a bit frustrating when you see on TV say, "Oh, will he be able to handle it? Can he lift it up and all that?" And I'm thinking, it's not that heavy, and it is just pressing buttons and all that. So it's fine.
Okay, but there's a lovely picture of you holding up the board with 10 minutes on it, by the way. No one gets to hold up a board with 10 minutes on it. And you look like you're beaming. You look like you're focused and confident.
I'm not going to lie to you. I did enjoy it. And when you hear the roar go up, and I did hear afterwards the Barclays singing on one of their own. Yeah. So I don't know if was it you who started that?
It wasn't me. I can't take credit for it, but
yeah,
Cedric is taking credit for it. That's all good.
So I'm not going to lie to you. I did enjoy it, but yeah.
Too true. Now, I think we saw a debut from little Amelia on Radio Norfolk, and they had a little video with her. This is going to be a great story to tell her when she's older. Yeah,
because she was 6 months on Saturday. So, definitely when her years come, when she gets down Carrow Road, I'll say, I've been their fourth official there, so she'll love that.
And you've got another gig since.
Oh, sorry?
You've got another gig since. You're going to be fourth official at the Norwich City Legends. Gig! I don't know what else you've been given. The Norwich City versus Inter Milan Legends game. You are going to be fourth official.
Yes, that's a big thank you to the legend that Brian Gunn is. So I appreciate it. So thanks to Gunny for that. So look forward to, May the 20th, something like that?
We were having a joke that had another linesman pulled their hamstring. You could have been promoted to on the line, and if the referee had curled into a ball, you might have actually been refereeing the game on Saturday. By the way,
it is a strange thing. It's something about how you suddenly turn professional. But I suppose you know that you're a Norwich City fan. You can't jump up and down in the old box, or do you?
No. I have got up out of my seat. I normally,
but you do have the professional head on, and you just think about the refereeing. So.
It raised an interesting question, though, I thought of. Is there really no contingency for if one of the officials gets injured? Because it looked like the referee was going to call the game off before you stepped in.
I don't think he would have called off, because it's so that late in the game. It happened, last time it happened was in 2010, and I'd done it.
Let's just say you have done this 6 times now.
Yeah, that's what it doesn't make me laugh how there's all the media attention from it, and I think I've done it before and nothing happened then. No.
Board of number 10. Last time probably no number 10 or 10 minutes left. I think it's probably why at this time you're more sort of Spurs.
Yeah, possibly. And I was in my jeans.
Yeah. You were in your jeans, which was a great look. So you're here for the AGM. You're going to take that in. And in terms of that and Norwich, where they are at the moment, Spud, we've got to ask you about that. How are you feeling about it? Because I've got written here, and we haven't quite got to ask the guys yet. Apathy written down. Is it a bit like that?
Well, I always say there's a lot of Norwich fans think we should be a lot higher than we should be. In an ideal world, we'll be top of the league where Wolves are, but we are in a transition period. It is really tough when we haven't won for so long. But I'm a positive person. I do believe it will come good. And football's a cycle. It is. We've had a good spell. We're just gonna have a little bad spell. But in years to come, it'll come good again.
Well, let's hope so. But thanks so much for joining us.
No
You're
worries.
more than welcome to hang around, because
Yeah.
we're only going to be talking about football.
Yeah.
Coffee if you want.
Yeah, I can get the coffees, yeah.
Can we get a heater? And we'll need Cedric. Cedric might need to use you as a chair if his knee sits up. So we'll do that. I did want to speak about Daniel Farke actually, because I mean I've already had a message off the back of Saturday's draw saying, "Oh, stop insulating Daniel Farke," which is kind of the messages that me, Paddy, and Dave kind of get all the time from covering the club, and I don't necessarily agree with it. But is there a situation where is Daniel getting the most out of the players he's got, or is it a different situation to that?
I think it's ridiculous to even start discussing whether or not he should still be in the position. As we said earlier on, it's 5 years basically of bad decisions have led us to the point where we've had to rip it up and start again. We have ripped it up and started again, and it's not going to be an instant success. It's going to. The club have said it's going to take 2 or 3 transfer windows until Daniel Farke has the squad that he wants, and I think you've got to give him time. Like people say, let's be patient. Well, now's the time to be patient.
What do you reckon, Cedric?
I think he's right. I think the club is in completely restructured, not just on the field and on terms of the football, the players, but behind those as well. I think the club in the past have made a lot of bad choice or mistakes, and obviously they have learned from that. And I think they're completely trying to restructure the club from bottom to top, and it would take a big time. I think 5 years, I think, is perfect. I think probably a year 3, probably going to have the team he wants to work with. It's just a transition at the minute, and we need to be behind him. In the summer you walk around the Carrow Road and people go Farke for life and things like that, and then suddenly everyone's like, I'm not so sure about him, but it's West Championship level is, you got a good period, you got bad period, and when you got bad period is when everyone needs to be together and stay positive.
Brilliant stuff. Right, let's. Thanks for all your questions on the Facebook page. I'm going to use my both hands as best I can to rattle through some of these. Let's go. Mikey Stewart, sell up Delia, need new direction. Carl Wrigglesworth, Delia out, so obviously a positive start. And Mark Larter wants Wenger out. So well, good luck with that, Mark, because I think that would take some shifting. Jane Foster, why do we get so many injuries? Is anyone worried about the injuries? Because all that hard pre-season was supposed to be about getting the players fully fit and firing and in the best possible condition to withstand the championship toil.
Well, I think, obviously Farke came with his full staff from Germany. I think he's increased the intensity in training. I think they had about 2 or 3 training a day. That could have probably have an impact on the players. Because some of them probably not used to training quite that much in pre-season or hard. But it's just not Norwich. You got an injury list of problems. It got different clubs. It's just not Norwich. Everyone got their injury problems, and Norwich need to deal with it. Is no other way of thinking. Norwich need to deal with the TT who's injured, husband, and obviously Pritchard was coming back. They need to be able to deal with it.
What else have we got here? Let's have a look. Paul Jones, technical players should offer exciting football. That's straightforward. Oh, Cedric, exciting football?
Yeah, well, we all want exciting football, but again, it's that transition period. I know it can't sound like we're repeating ourselves, but it's going to be really tight having to play that. I think that's a hard one to call because we are suffering with the injuries and we are losing our best players. And I think Farke would, if Farke was saying, he would tell you he wouldn't be playing Maddison as much as he would want him to.
Just wait. Go on.
I was just going to add that I think one of the changes that Farke is trying to implement, which is different from Alex Neil, is we've reverted from trying to create lots and lots and lots of half chances to trying to create 2 or 3 real quality chances. And what's happening is, when we're not taking those chances, we then seem to run out of ideas a little bit and we sort of fall short. Rather than just sticking the ball in the box and hoping something comes off, we're actually trying to work proper openings, and we'll get less of them, but the thinking I think is that when you get an opening it's going to be a clearer cut chance.
Oh, let's hope so.
But for me the problem that Norwich is facing is a lot of passing that is part of the game, but is not enough ball in the box. The Murphy, he don't put the ball enough in the box. We don't have a right winger, so we got no width in the game. Everything is go central. But sometimes you have to use the whip because team come here and we have found out they are so deep and stop us playing between the line. And Norwich don't have the ability to go on on the left or on the right and put the ball in the box.
It's like they do play with width, but then when they play it out wide, they just come back inside again. It's almost like they rebound off the side. But anyway, let's. What else have we got here? Chris Jennings, 3 happy clappers here tonight. I don't know which 3 he's referring to, gents. So, but likewise, Matthew Johnson, the guys are right. We asked for change, now we are getting it. That doesn't mean we won't get frustrated and moan, because we will stick with it.
Happy clappers as well, I think, is a funny one. Football's meant to be fun. Like, why would you not be happy and enjoy it? Like, why be negative all the time? Be positive.
Exactly. If you want results, you have to be positive. You need to be able to go on the football field and play with a smile on your face. You know, that's life.
And last season, we were crying out for change, and we got the change. And what do you think you're going to get instant success? That doesn't happen. You might argue and say, well, it happened to Wolves. They've had instant success this season. No, they haven't, because they had the problems last season, and that took them a couple of So it happens, and so you've got to stop the negative and try and look on the positive side.
Hugh Topia, we need a better balance between flair and fight in the middle of the park. I mean, some fight would be nice. Nick Smith, it's fine wanting the board to go, but there is also no viable alternative to replace them. Certainly no one with vast sums of cash to squander. And just finally, Matthew Johnson, for me, we need to follow Fulham's model. Last season, they were one of the best sides to come from Carrow Road in years. They came down, messed it up financially, and had to rebuild with a couple of youth and some smart signatures. So there we go. Keep your messages coming in, because we'll keep referring to them as we go through the evening. In the meantime, I'm going to find my script. I'll tell you what I'm going to say. Spud, I'm going to let you go, if that's all right, because it's probably going to start raining, and we don't really want all 3 of us to get wet. Thanks so much for joining us.
Likewise. Thank you very much.
And we'll see you next time you're on as for 4th official, obviously.
Indeed.
Yeah, top man. Right, you get going.
Thank you.
What a start. We will now have a look, shall we, at the championship picture as it stands. This is called me filling, Andy, as I find the right place in my script, which I'm ready for. Dan, are you ready for the slides? Look at him, he's ready. Right. After a full midweek programme last week and some games in hand this week, the championship picture looks pretty clear heading into December. Leeds, Villa and Derby all had great weekend wins, while Bristol City came from 2-0 down to win at struggling Hull, and Sunderland finally won their first in the league since victory at Norwich back in August. Cardiff won at Forest, while Ipswich and Reading had excellent victories in their games in hand. Wolves march on at the top, with Cardiff clear in second ahead of hosting Norwich. In fact, the top 6 is all looking strong, with a close chasing pack that includes Ipswich. In the bottom half, Sunderland will be hoping they become upwardly mobile, while Hull's season goes from bad to worse. City are now 15th, 8 points off the top 6, 5 behind Ipswich, and 10 ahead of the relegation zone. And after another nightmare November, City usher in December with an awkward trip to Cardiff on Neil Warnock's 69th birthday. That game is on a Friday due to Wales Rugby International with South Africa on Saturday, so don't go looking for the game on Sky, because you'll instead find Villa's trip to Leeds. Saturday sees Ipswich host Forest and Middlesbrough head for Ashton Gate, while there's a Midlands derby on Monday with Birmingham entertaining Wolves, although that should probably read the other way round. How worried are we about the table as it looks, gents? Worried?
Not worried at all at this stage of the season. I think, as I said earlier on, where we are at the moment is about where we'd expect to be. I think the thing with the Championship is there's 22 teams that are mid-table teams and could finish mid-table, and we're in the middle of them.
How about you, Cedric?
I think the league or the table never lie. I think where Norwich is where they're supposed to be. You know, if you look how many goals they score, not many, probably 17, something like that. Last year at this time they were 34. You look how many goals Wolf scored, 20 plus, only managed to concede 17. You know, 17. Norwich score 17, Wolverhampton concede only 17. So Norwich deserve to be where they are. There's a lot of work to be done. We all know that at the start of the season, and I'm pretty sure they will go up.
Anyone worried it'll get worse?
It might get a bit worse, but I don't think it'll get worse to the point of being in a relegation fight. But I think this season is a transition season, and whether we finish 13th or 6th or 12th, this season is a transition season.
The only problem with the transition season is Norwich will run out of parachute payments, and next summer it's pretty much going to be carnage.
Well, but parachute payments don't guarantee success, do they? As we found last season, Hull found this season, just Sunderland are finding having a load of money doesn't make you successful. This is the transition season in terms of building a squad that the manager wants to work with and he feels can be successful.
Dave Freezer has joined us. He's round there. Oh, he's in gloves and a scarf. Do you want to come and join us, Dave? Here he is. Look at this dapper young man. You got him on camera. Look at that, Sean. There you go. Do you want to come in between us, Dave? Because that will be easier. You're looking very dapper there. Good man. It's a lovely scarf too.
There's a little bit of green in there. Subtle.
Well done. You're looking forward to the AGM tonight? We're all covering it. You, me, and Paddy.
I don't know about looking forward to it. They're usually largely quite boring, aren't they? You're always looking for sort of the moment. And last year we all, I'm sure, remember Jez Moxey's promotion, which I think we can be pretty certain no one will say tonight. But I was just having a look in the office where the team were under Alex Neil. They just lost 3 games, but they were 6th in the league. So 14th going in tonight. I'd imagine it's going to be a bit of a gloomy atmosphere, but maybe someone will prove me wrong.
We never know, do we? We never know. I mean, we all know about the finances around the club, and that's obviously going to get discussed about. But in terms of the Q&A afterwards, obviously Stuart Webber, Daniel Farker, they're all here as well. How are you expecting them to be quizzed by the fans? Because sometimes it doesn't quite happen, and sometimes someone will pop up with a question that actually garners a bit of a reaction.
Yeah, I don't think we need any questions about sausage rolls this year, to be honest. But
I was banking on that.
The finances, that's going to be the big question. I think what most people are looking for is probably leadership now. I mean, I think that's probably what Jez Moxey thought he was doing last year, and it's what David McNally certainly has tried to do in the past. And it'll be interesting to see sort of how much anybody is willing to commit on how hard they're going to push this season, how much they're going to give away, on whether they are actively going to look to sell anyone in January. I'd say that's probably the most pressing concern. If someone says, look, if someone offers good money for Maddison or Pritchard in January, we'll take it, then obviously that's going to be a strong line. So I think people want to know the direction that the club is travelling in the minds of the people that matter, I suppose.
Absolutely. It started raining, so we'll let you go, Dave. Go and keep yourself warmer than we are. Thanks for joining us, Dave. And don't forget, me, Dave and Paddy are all at the AGM tonight, so check into pinkun.com after tonight's events. We're not allowed to tweet live as things stand at the moment, but after the events we'll all be reporting on what's happened and speaking to the main protagonists. We'll of course keep you in contact with what actually took place. Let's have a quick look, shall we, at Cardiff, shall we? Because that's the game coming up on Friday night. It's kind of an awkward comparison for Norwich, I suppose, isn't it? Because they're also kind of broke. They've also had a massive transition, and they've gone the opposite, haven't they? They've got a really experienced manager in Neil Warnock, and actually they're looking pretty good for an actual sustained promotion challenge now. Well,
I think Cardiff is a great example where obviously you can have bad 2 years and trying to rebuild. And Warnock has done very well this year. Norwich is probably in the same sort of level at the moment that we all said is a transition, and they are in a transition. But again, it's a plan for 5 years. Hopefully, they can build something and put some good foundation for the club to go up. Cardiff is a tough game because we all know Warnock. How he discipline his player, how hard they are to beat, and it just went away to Nottingham Forest the weekend and beat them 2-0. So I think it would be a tough game for Norwich. We need to be honest. We need to be honest with ourselves. It'd be a tough game for the players. But who knows? Who knows? It's where's the beauty of the game. You don't know.
As we said before we started recording, I mean, Norwich have got this game, they've got Sheffield Wednesday here at Carrow Road, and then they go to Leeds. So it's just 3 really tricky games. And I think, as you said before we went on air, Andy, actually they've been doing quite well in those kind of games and surprising people in a way. Yeah,
Sheffield United, I think beforehand you wouldn't have thought would go there and win. Middlesbrough you wouldn't have thought would go there and win. So I think there is some hope on Friday, but I think Cedric's right. Cardiff are kind of a season on in terms of where we are at the moment, and they're doing really well, and I think it will be a tough game.
That's an interesting point, actually, because once they got the parachute payments out of their way, you kind of feel like it's done them a favour. Is there almost a bit of that with Norwich? I know there's going to have to be so much change, but you kind of wonder if they didn't have it might help them out.
Yeah, for me, I think it would, because I think the route that we're trying to go down now with Webber is not spending 8-9 million on 30-year-old players, and we're looking at academy players and younger players and hungry players in the Paul Lambert sort of mould of recruitment, and I think that will be a positive long term.
Cardiff got some really good players, haven't they, actually, Cedric? I'm a big fan of Kenneth Zahor, and they've got Aaron Gunnarsson, Junior Hoylett, Sean Morrison, who I'm a fan of as well, and Nathaniel Mendez-Lang has done really well. Anthony Pilkington, got to mention him too, of course. But they've got some really, really good players, and they've done some really good recruitment, actually, since they really struggled when they were in the Premier League and were relegated.
I think Warnock, he's got the perfect ingredient. He knows the league, he knows what is required, he knows how to build a squad, a team, and get results. As I said, He's recruiting some players who know very well the Championship. He's kept obviously Howlett, which he was a Premier League player before. Very good player, very quick, and they've scored some goals actually, to be fair, because under Warnock we all know that they don't score many goals, they're hard to beat, but so far this year they've scored some plenty of goals, so it's tough game for Norwich.
All right, well, we put you in the dugout, so shall we have a look at your 11s? Dan, which one are we going to have a look at first, do you reckon? Andy, this is your 11. Can you remember what it is off the top of your head?
Yeah, I went a bit optimistic and I had Tribal, Husband and Closer all passing fitness tests and being fit. And
why not?
Exactly. We don't really know, do we, if they're fit or not. And I've gone through at the back with wing backs because I think our current squad suits that formation. It didn't particularly work second half against Barnsley, but it was one of those games I think where nothing was working. So I've gone Zimmerman, Closer and Hanley at the back, Pinto and Husband wide, Tribal anchoring, and then Wes, Maddison and Murphy as the three behind Jerome instead of Oliveira.
Are Norwich missing Alex Tetty? Have they got anyone who can do that role in his place? Because I'm not really seeing that from Tribal or Harrison Reed.
I think Tribal started to do it and then seemed to lose a bit of form. But I have said previously that I think if I could sign one position in January, it would be a defensive midfielder rather than a striker, because I think that is where we are lacking. We are lacking that bit of steel and that's someone who's just going to sit there and shield the defence.
Cedric, we'll have a look at yours now, if that's all right, Dan. You are like for like, I think, off the back of the Preston game.
Yeah, because obviously I knew that Norwich got a long list of injury. I know Husband was not going to be available. I was tempting to put Pritchard instead of Francic, but really worried for Pritchard to start at Cardiff. He's just come back from an injury, so I kept the same 11, and I hope they're going to prove me wrong, to be honest.
We haven't had a chance to talk about Alex Pritchard, so let's do that now. How big a factor is it, him returning? And also, where does he play? Because that, for me, is far more important than just Alex Pritchard being fit. It's where Daniel Farke uses him.
Yeah, I think it is a big thing for him to come back. And I think one of the problems that Farke has had so far is he doesn't really know what that three behind his front man is. And he's constantly tinkering to try and get that to click. So I think when Pritchard comes back, it'll be Maddison who drops out. Not because he's been out of form, but I think Farke feels that Maddison possibly needs a rest. And they're very like for like. I think long term, it will be Pritchard, Maddison and Murphy who play there.
What do you reckon, Cedric?
I think replacing Maddison is quite difficult because he's put him in a sort of hard situation because Pritchard was injured, so he had to play Maddison. Maddison has done fantastically very well for the team. He's got plenty of important goals, but as you mentioned, I think Tetty is missing very, very, very much. They don't have that fight and battle in the midfield. It's too much creativity in midfield. The players just don't like to put a tackle. We just rely too much on the back four with different centre back with Henley or Closer or Zimmerman. You always change, but if you don't have a very solid midfield players who make some tackles and win their battles, if you don't have that, your back four is under pressure all the time. And I think it's very important for Tetty to come back very quickly from his injury because I think he's been missed. I agree with you with Tribal. I think he's starting very well. In the last few games I've been seeing him playing, he seems to struggle with the pace of the game. He gets tired very quickly. Very steady on the ball, but Championship sometimes is not just on the ball. You need to be able to read and win the second ball. I think it's been lacking from Norwich.
Brilliant stuff. Predictions, gents? Do you fancy a prediction, Andy, for Friday night in Cardiff? It's going to be cold.
I'm going to say 1-1.
That'd be a good point.
Yeah, I'd take a point, definitely.
What about the next 3 games? How many points for the next 3 games?
Well, I think Sheffield Wednesday were a bit like Norwich again this season. They seem to be going through a bit of a transition season and are quite similar to us. So I think that might be another draw. 3 draws, actually. Leeds, Sheffield Wednesday and Cardiff. 3 draws.
Why not? How about a prediction for Friday, Cedric?
I think Norwich will surprise us away to Cardiff. I would say the 1-0 Norwich.
Yes, which is what they did last year, Cedric. So history can repeat itself, obviously. Positive indeed. Right, we've got a couple more posts I'll just read out. Matthew Johnson, Farke still hasn't got the players required to make his tactics work, regardless whether that's exciting or not. Going to take another summer window where he can trim a bit more fat of high earners. And Paul Jones, imagine how bad our season would look without having Maddison's contributions. We would be relegation material. That free kick on Saturday, that free kick. Hey?
Do you think he actually mean it?
Oh, yeah. It was too high to connect with anyone.
Yeah, just like a little pace, but I'm not so sure if he mean that. He mean to curl it to the far post.
Would you have said you'd meant it if that had been you, Cedric, anyway?
Yeah, exactly. I would.
And on that note, that is us for tonight. Gents, thank you so much. Remember, you can catch this show and all our superb Norwich City content on the PinkUn Facebook page, as we are currently live at the moment, fb.me/thepinkun, the PinkUn YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/thepinkun channel, or pinkun.com, of course, which is where everything is. A big thank you to all the crew who are freezing cold like me. I can't feel my toes. To Cedric and Andy, thank you so much for being our guests. To Dave Freezer for joining us as well, and of course David Spud Thornhill, the football national, worldwide, global sensation that he is. And of course to you for watching, getting your messages in and getting involved. We will be back again live next Wednesday from the usual time of 7 p.m. and that will be back at the Fat Cat and Canary on Thorpe Road in Norwich. As always, if you're nearby, then come on, pop in, grab a pint and join us for the show. Until then, here's to something brighter to light up the start of December. Good night.